Hi everyone, we're from St. George's Radiology Society and we'll be sharing with you today about what our society has done in the year 2019 to 2020. Due to COVID-19, as with many other things, we were unable to present at the RCR undergraduate meeting and thus have been asked to make a video instead for our award of RCR Undergraduate Society of the Year. Some of our activities may now be a bit outdated or not as feasible given the pandemic and social distancing, but we hope that sharing our year's highlights will act as a springboard for other radiology societies to organize more engaging and innovative events going forward. These are the points that we'll be addressing throughout our presentation. To start off with, here's our main committee. I'm Chantel and was president of our society, which was a role that entailed overseeing the direction of our society as well as liaising with radiologists to deliver our events. I was helped by Sandy, our vice president, a new role which we brought on board as an additional position to oversee the mentorship program that we set up this year. Next, we have Bukola, our secretary, who drafted our email blasts to promote the events as well as arrange room bookings. Lashant, who was our treasurer, focused on collecting money for our membership schemes and worked closely with Corey, our webmaster, who designed beautiful posters and set up ticketing systems and QR links to boost publicity. Next, we have Marco, our events coordinator, who looked after our speakers and helped organize refreshments at events. Finally, we have Ali, our foundation rep, which was also a new role that we had created to engage foundation doctors in speciality. We realized that this was a massively underrepresented group, and thus created this role to help us increase our membership base as well as enable foundation doctors to access our society events more easily. A lot of what we achieved was only possible as a team, and so I've asked each of them to tell you a little bit more about what we've done together this year. Just the background about our society. We were formed in 2012 and had previously mainly organized revision lectures. However, we realized that with an increasing incorporation of radiology teaching within the medical school curriculum, we had to adapt our events to make them more interesting and useful to students. This meant that our focus shifted away from didactic lectures to more hands-on sessions. We created a mentorship scheme to provide students of all year groups a platform to access further personalized radiology support, which translated into increased opportunities for shadowing, research, as well as career advice. We tried to keep our sessions innovative and topical. For example, we invited a Gosh Fellow to teach the basics of pediatric radiology in an escape room format, the first of its kind for undergraduate teaching. Whilst doing all this, we tried to maintain an inclusive and friendly environment. This meant that first years up to foundation doctors, radiology trainees, and consultants were encouraged to mingle with each other, building a friendly community interested in radiology. Finally, we tried to keep our sessions tailored to our members who have a broad interest within the speciality. This included organizing hands-on ultrasound sessions, radiology AI lectures, as well as IR sessions for our members. Now let me introduce Bukola, who will tell you a bit more about the events that we held.
So I'm going to be talking about some of the activities that we held during the year. Our activities were split into three main categories. The first was lectures, then the second was hands-on sessions and workshops, and the third was a revision series that we did. And we were very fortunate to have a diverse mix of speakers at these events, from training radiologists from ST1 to ST5 level, and also consultant radiologists, both diagnostic and interventional. So the next slide just shows a summary of that and also shows a picture from one of our most popular events of the year, which was the Interventional Radiology Workshop. So on the next slide is just about the hands-on escape room event that we had, which was a lot of fun to participate in, and it was the first time we've ever done anything like that, so it was brand new. It involved the students being split up into two teams where they spent time going around the room and solving different clues and puzzles in order to help them unlock the room essentially. And the focus of it was pediatric radiology. So after the event, we had a brilliant lecture by Dr. Susie Shelmerdin, where she actually gave us a talk about the different aspects of the basics of pediatric radiology. And the surveys afterward really showed that the students were able to retain a lot of the knowledge that they gained. And then the next slide just shows a couple of the pictures from the escape room.
The hands-on series continued with the ultrasound workshop for beginners. With increasing use of ultrasound in medical practice, students and junior doctors alike want more teaching and learning in this field. Most students, having seen ultrasound being performed, have never had any practical teaching on it, and the session that was taught was delivered by St. George's radiologists and was very well received, and students greatly enjoyed the session. Other highlights included the Interventional Radiology Workshop. This incorporated hands-on teaching on basic kit and procedures after a lecture series. This was delivered by our trainees and leading experts, and there was an overwhelming positive response from students and junior doctors that travelled around the country to attend the event. The OSCE Workshop was also well received, where students were able to practice presenting plain films one-to-one with a radiology trainee and given individualised feedback.
Mentorship is a really important part of medical education, and we know it can have a really big impact on what someone chooses to do as a future career. But unfortunately, with very little exposure to radiology in the medical school, because of how saturated the curriculum is, there isn't that much opportunity to get mentorship for people who are interested. So in Radiology Society, we decided to create a mentorship program just to help students gain an insight into what a career in radiology looks like. We matched 14 students with either radiology trainees or consultants based on whether they were preclinical or clinical years. So more senior students tended to go with consultants and more junior tended to go with trainees. We made it really open, so it's up to the students and the mentors to decide what they wanted to do with that time, and that included sort of shadowing, reporting sessions, research, audits, just having generic career advice, etc. And we encourage the students as well to sort of reflect on these meetings that they had with their mentors. They had to fill forms with their mentors, which encouraged them to be more proactive with the program. And the feedback that we got from the students was really positive, and that they benefited a lot from the program as well. We also were meant to set up an end of year dinner with all the mentors and their mentees, but unfortunately because of COVID we weren't able to do that, and that would have just been really wonderful, and hopefully we get to do that this year.
From previous years, we've experienced a very high demand for certain events, especially the on-hand workshops. Therefore, to be able to host more of similar events, increase our reach amongst the students, and encourage them to go beyond the curriculum's radiology teaching, we developed a tiered membership scheme. The scheme involved a premium and standard membership. Students who paid £10 per year for premium membership were able to attend all events for the academic year. Those on the standard membership at £5 per year were able to attend all lectures for free and hands-on sessions at a discounted rate. Furthermore, to make sure not everyone were left out of our society, we also welcome non-members to our events for £3 for lectures and £5 for hands-on sessions. Priority bookings were, however, given to members for sessions with limited places. Here, you can see that we were very professional in how we went about this, and therefore we created very professional-looking membership cards. All society members had to present this at the start of our events. This allowed us to create a friendly community of radiology and radiology-interested students.
Okay, so let's talk about our communication strategy. So first things first, we revitalized our mailing list and we gained about 138 subscribers, which was a huge increase on the number from previous years. And we wanted this communication strategy to be really natural. So we encouraged things like our birthday quiz, where we would send a question to someone just before their birthday, and if they answered the question right, they would get a small prize. We also completely revamped the way we advertised events. So we advertised all our events using Eventbrite, which meant that all the information was in one place, and people could easily check into events, and we could actually see who was attending and who didn't attend. We also used all the typical social media strategies like Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram. We also had a subscription calendar that would automatically send notifications to remind people of when events were and when to buy tickets. And all of our posters had these bespoke QR codes, so people were never too far away from the information they needed. And I think the main thing we did is we started planning our events right at the beginning of the year, and we had our full calendar at the beginning of the year. So that encouraged people to sign up to our premium memberships. The other important thing is feedback. So we collected feedback before and after each event, and we used Mentimeter. So while people were sat in the room, we encouraged them to fill in the feedback. So it meant it was fresh in their minds, and actually we got a much higher return and better feedback because of how we collected it. We also provided some incentives like certificates, sponsored prizes, etc. So this meant that, in the sustainability of the future planning, we could really tailor our sessions to what our members wanted or potential members wanted.
Now that you have heard from our team, I'd like to share with you our future plans. We hope to develop more hands-on and interactive sessions, such as mini-series that cater to a wide range of interests for our members. We also hope to continue opening and expanding our society, for example, by collaborating with other radiology societies to make it as accessible as possible to those who have an interest in radiology. Our goal is to continue building a hub and community interested in the specialty, and we hope to continue innovating and adapting so that our society remains up-to-date and relevant. Finally, I would like to say a big thank you to all the speakers who very kindly gave up their time into developing as well as delivering the sessions this year. Thank you very much for listening to us today.